Hello everyone, Carson here, and in this video, I'm gonna be solving Wordle number 1458 and New York Times Hard Sudoku for June 16th, 2025. So let's get this video started with Wordle number 1458. I'm gonna start with the word blues. Alright, only got the E yellow, so this letter goes somewhere else in this word. Now E is very likely to go last, or it could go in the middle. I can try something like trend. It tests for mainly consonants, T, R, N, and D are consonants, which are commonly used, and try to place the E as well. So let's try trend. Okay, T and E are yellow. So, still have not placed them correctly, which makes me think that E actually goes last, but, what goes before that is the question. White, maybe? Let's try white, because I do want to know what what begins the word. Okay, well, anyway, I did not have the correct predictions for E. Um, well, then, there has to be a vowel after the T. Or a Y. Could be TY. That's very likely, actually, because can't be TE. Hefty is not available anymore. Could also be TTY. Or EATY. Meaty. I feel like that's not a bad guess, so let's try meaty. Okay, well, placed the E, T, and Y, but the first and third letter are still unknown, but it's alright. I'll take that. See, I don't think there'll be another vowel anymore. Could it be repeating T? It could, actually. Petty? Fetty? Getty? Jetty? I don't know. Petty? Alright, petty is today's Wordle answer. Okay, so the difficulty is alright. Not really easy, but not too tricky at the same time. Repeating T, a repeated T. E at the second letter and Y at the end. This is a common pattern you see in words. Consonant, vowel, followed by two consonants and a Y at the end. So yeah, it's alright. Not too tricky, but at the same time, not super easy as well. So yeah, I'll take it. Could have gone worse. Didn't, though. So yeah, got today's Wordle answer, petty, in 5 tries. This is Wordle number 1458. Let's now move on to New York Times Sudoku. Again, today is June 16th, 2025. Let's start the hard difficulty Sudoku for today. These ones points left, and this cell sees another 1. So in block 4, the digit 1 is forced into this cell. These ones point up, and this cell sees another 1, where these ones points down. This cell sees another 1. Alright, then let's move on to the 2s. These 2s points down, and this cell sees another 2. So in block 7, the digit 2 is forced into this cell. So in block 5 goes into one of these 2 cells, and these 2s point right. These 2s, they point right as well. But they line up differently. Okay, this 3 points down to force the digit 3 into column 1 in block 4. Then for the digit 4 in block 4 is forced into column 2. So there's a hidden 4 here, right? These 4s point down, and this cell sees another 4. What about the 5s? Not sure if I can mark anything immediately. 6s? Not sure. Alright, 7s? The 7 points right, and the 7 points down. So in block 6, the digit 7 is forced into column 8. So these 7s point down. Okay, what about the 8s? 9s? Okay, these 9s point up. To force the digit 9 into this cell in block 1, the digit 9 in block 8 is forced into one of these two cells. This 9 points up, and this 9 points right. So in block 6, the digit 9 is forced into row 4. So a hidden 9 here and this 9 force the digit 9 into one of these two cells in block 5. I also see that in column 4, the digit 9 it can be placed. This cell sees 9. This cell sees a hidden 9 from block 6. Right? I've just found out that the digit 9 in block 6 is guaranteed into row 4. Because all possibilities lie in the same row. So one of these two cells must contain a 4, and they are both in row 4. So I cannot have another open cell in the same row containing a 9. So a hidden 9 here eliminates 9 from this cell, because it shares the same row. Anyway, this cell sees 9, this cell sees a hidden 9, this cell sees 9, this cell sees 9, and this cell also sees another 9. But 9 is still missing from column 4, so I have to place 9 somewhere, and it can only go here, because all other open cells in this column see another 9. So this cell becomes the only cell available for the digit 9 in this column, so it has to go here. It's the only possible place. Then these 9s point right, and this cell sees another 9. So in block 3, the digit 9 is forced into this cell, which eliminates 9 from this cell and places 9 in this cell in block 6. After I place this 9, the digit 2 in block 3 is forced into this cell, followed by the 1, which goes into this cell. Then the digit 1 in block 2 is forced into this cell, then these ones point down. In row 2, the missing digits are 6 and 8, where this cell sees an 8. So 6 and 8 placed this way to complete the row. Then the digit 8 in block 3 is forced into this cell. Okay, this 4 points up. So in block 3, the digit 4 is forced into row 1. Right? 4 cannot go into these two cells, but 4 still has to go somewhere in block 3 because it's missing. So the digit 4 is guaranteed into one of these two cells, which both lie in the same row. So a hidden 4 here eliminates 4 from these two cells. We've also got this 4. So the digit 4 in block 2 is now forced into this cell. 4 in block 5 goes into one of these two cells. Okay, these two cells are down to, well, one of them's a 7, but the cell sees 7. So 7 in this cell, and this is a 5 to complete the block. Well, in row 3, the missing digits are 3 and 6. And in block 2, 3, 6, and 7 are the missing digits. This cell sees a 6. Okay, these 3 cells are for 1, 3, and 4, because they're the missing digits of column 3. which makes the other 3 open cells in block 7 a 5, 6, 7 triple. This cell sees a 7, so it's only 5 or 6, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, but sees 6. Mm-hmm. Oh, this cell sees a 2. I just haven't marked that yet. So the digit 2 in block 9 is forced into this cell. Then 2 in block 6 is forced into this cell, which places the last 2 in this Sudoku puzzle in this cell in block 5. So all 2s are placed, just because I haven't spotted the... well, what I could follow up. I just didn't. Yeah, I somehow didn't spot it when I placed this 2, but it's alright. Now that I do, placed all the 2s immediately. Now the digits that are missing from column 9 are 3, 5, and 6, where these 2 cells see another 5. So in column 9, the digit 5 is forced into this cell, leaving behind a 3, 6 pair. 3, 4, 6 triple is left in block 3. This cell sees another 6. Well, actually, 3, 4, and 7 are the missing digits of column 7. This cell sees a 4. Oh, I think it's this cell, right? I was just looking at the missing digits of column 4. I was thinking about them. The missing digits are 1, 3, 4, 7, and 8. This cell sees 4 and 8, so in short, it can only be 1, 3, or 7. Well, you can always double check by using this method. It's always the best. But don't do this for every single cell. It's gonna take you forever. Look at rows or columns instead and try to see if there are some cells that have limited options. So this cell cannot contain, or it sees, 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9. So this cell cannot be 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9, so this cell can only contain 1, 3, or 7. Now look at row 8. There are 3 open cells which only contain 3 certain digits in this case. These 3 cells only contain 1, 3, and 7. And the principle behind this is that to ensure that no cells end up being empty, I have to keep 1, 3, and 7 in these 3 cells. Empty cells, of course, break the Sudoku puzzle. So to avoid that, I have to keep 1, 3, and 7 in these 3 cells. If I exclude any one of them from these 3 cells, if I exclude them, then at least one cell would end up being empty, and that'll break the Sudoku puzzle. So to ensure that there are no empty cells eventually, I have to keep 1, 3, and 7 in these 3 cells, because these 3 digits are the only possible digits which can go into these 3 cells. So keeping 1, 3, and 7 in these 3 cells forms a 1, 3, 7 triple, which eliminates 1s, 3s, and 7s from all other open cells in this row. In other words, this 1, 3, 7 triple makes the other 2 open cells in this row a 5, 6 pair. You could have also done it the other way. This cell sees 5 and 6, this cell sees 5 and 6, and this cell also sees 5 and 6. So in order to fit both 5 and 6 into row 8, I have to make these 2 cells reserved for 5 and 6. So similarly, these 2 cells form a 5, 6 pair, and eliminates all other digits from these 2 cells, which gives us the 1, 3, 7 triple. So 2 ways to spot it. You can spot it by the 1, 3, 7 triple or the 5, 6 pair, but of course you're gonna get both of them if you spot either one of them. Um, Whether this helps much or not, I'm not sure. We have to keep looking. And actually it does. Because now that 7 is eliminated from this cell, either by this cell seeing all three cells involved in the 137 triple, so this cell cannot be a 7, or it's part of the 5-6 pair, so 7 is not 5 or 6, so 7 cannot go into this cell. But either way, 7 now is eliminated from this cell. With these 7s, the digit 7 in block 7 is forced into this cell, leaving a 356 triple in column 1. This cell sees 6 and this cell sees 5. Hmm. Okay, the digit 8 in block 8 is forced into one of these two cells. Oh, a 3-6 pair in row 5. Okay. So I'm not going to explain it in much detail, because I've already explained it for the 137 triple. It's the same concept. The only combinations which um, ensures that there are no empty cells are 3-6 like this, or the other way, 6-3. So to ensure that there are no empty cells, I have to keep both 3 and 6 in these two cells. Keeping both 3 and 6 in these two cells form a 3-6 pair in these two cells, which eliminates which eliminates 3s and 6s from all other open cells in this row. In other words, this 3-6 pair makes the other 3 open cells in this row a 4-7-8 triple. This cell sees a 7, so it's only 4 or 8. 4-7-8, this cell sees a 4, so it's 7 or 8 only. Okay, well, this is very interesting. Okay, well, I think I can place the digits. So let's look at these chains of 3s and 6s, right? If this ends up being a 6, well, hold up. Okay, let's start here. If this cell becomes a 6, well, we know that in block 7, only one of these two cells can become a 6. If this cell becomes a 6, then in block 8, this cell ends up a 6. Or I should say, if this cell ends up a 6, then in column 6, all other open cells in this column, apart from this cell, sees another 6. So, um, in column 6, the digit 6 is forced into this cell. Okay, but if this cell becomes a 6, then by the 3-6 pair, this cell becomes a 6, eliminate 6 from this cell, makes this cell a 6. So the conclusion is that no matter which cell 6 ends up in block 7, this cell would end up being the 6. Let's have a look again. If this cell is a 6, then for column 6, these open cells see another 6, so the digit 6 in column 6 is forced into this cell. It's the only cell available for the digit 6 in this column. But if this cell becomes a 6, then by this 3-6 pair, this cell has to be a 6, which makes this cell a 6. So it's kind of interesting. I'm trying to think what is the concept behind. Is it remote pairs? Remote pairs, or has it got to do something to do with whatever wings, X-wing or something? I'm trying to see, but I'm not sure. Um, I don't know. Well, anyway, let's just go ahead and place the 6 in this cell, which makes this cell 3, this a 6 but for the column, and by the 3-6 pair, makes this cell a 3, makes this cell a 5 and this cell a 6. Okay, which makes this cell a 5. So the digit 5 in block 9 is forced into this cell, which forces 5 in this cell in block 8. Then the digit 5 in block 5 is forced into this cell. Okay, wow, that was quite interesting. Okay, then the digit 6 in block 8 is forced into this cell, followed by the 9, which goes into this cell. The last 9 in this Sudoku puzzle is forced into this cell. Then for column 6, the missing digits are 3 and 7. This cell sees a 7, so 3 and 7 this way, which forces 7 into this cell in block 6. This cell now cannot be a 5. So this also sees 4 and 6, so it can only be an 8. But then this also sees 6, so 4 and 6 this way to complete the column. Now this cell is a 3 to complete the row. This is an 8 to complete the block, which makes this cell an 8, this cell an 8. Okay, this cell sees 7, so 1 and 7 this way. 4, 3, and 1. 3. 4, 7 pair down here, but this cell sees 7, so 7 and 4 this way. 4 and 6, and this Sudoku puzzle is complete. Alright, so I finished today's New York Times Hot Sudoku in a bit under 21 minutes, so I would say the Sudoku puzzle is around the right difficulty. I would say it's towards the tricky side for this Sudoku puzzle. Slightly towards the tricky side, but still, you know, approachable for a New York Times Hot Sudoku, a typical one. So I'll go over the key spots as a quick summary. So there were definitely some important pairs of triples. If you don't spot, you're gonna struggle for quite a while. Including the 137 triple in row 8 or the 5-6 pair if you spot otherwise. Either the 137 triple or the 5-6 pair, which are both in row 8, will do. Spotting one of them will help you spot both, so yeah. And then the 3-6 pair in row 5, or vice versa, the 4-7-8 triple in the same row. Either the 3-6 pair or the 4-7-8 triple in row 5. So these pairs and triples were key spots. Oh, before that, you needed to... Okay, if you use the 137 triple method, you needed to eliminate all other digits apart from 1, 3, and 7 from this cell. But anyway, I feel like all of these were the pairs and triples you needed to spot. Others were fine, went quite smoothly. And this phenomenon, the 5-6 is down here, so 6 could only go into one of these two cells in block 7, and no matter which cell it ended up in, this cell had to be a 6. If this cell becomes a 6, this cell must be a 6. If this cell, if the other cell is a 6, then the same cell becomes a 6. So this cell is actually forced to be a 6. So from then I just went on and solved. If I do manage to think of the term correctly, or if I manage to figure out what's going on, what the principle is, the concepts behind, if I do manage that, I may leave the details or explanation in the comments down below, if I really do, but I actually don't have much time to do so. But anyway, or you might figure out on your own. So it's kind of a bonus thing. It might be some wings, like X-wings, may be involved, or some remote pairs. Are not sure, but I'll have a look into that if I have time. But so yeah, I think this was what made this Sudoku puzzle slightly more tricky than usual. So yeah, along with other pairs and triples, of course. So if you have any other questions or difficulties, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. I'll be glad to reply you, and hopefully this video helped. Today is June 16th, 2025. In this video, I've solved Wordle number 1458 and New York Times Hard Sudoku for today. I'll see you all next time. Bye!